The Micro Projects Programme, or MPP, a European Union-funded project implemented by the Pacific Community, or SPC, was initiated to mitigate the adverse effect of the European Union's sugar price reforms that came into effect in 2017. On the 20th of February 2016, Category 5 Tropical Cyclone Winston struck the Fiji Islands, causing extensive damage and killing 43 people. Total damage is estimated at 1 billion Fijian dollars, the equivalent of 460 million US dollars. In response to these impacts, the European Union and SPC facilitated a redesign of the MPP project to reorient activities to support the recovery needs of communities in the sugarcane belt, which had been affected by TC Winston.
There's two key result areas that we're focused on. One is to improve access to affordable electricity and income generating opportunities, and the other was to improve access to improved water and sanitation facilities, in particular in the schools in the cane belt area. There's an additional component that also comes under the WASH element, which is hydrogeological surveys in 6 communities in the cane belt areas as well.
Immediately after Tropical Cyclone Winston, the project was re-augmented, and SPC worked closely with the Ministry of Education and NDMO to identify schools that would receive assistance. 34 schools were selected after having undergone a thorough assessment of the status of their ablution blocks, their water supply and other WASH essentials. SPC then engaged the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Economy through a grant agreement to carry out the work, as both ministries were at that point already working with schools in the rebuilding process.
WASH is an abbreviation that stands for Water, Sanitation and Hygiene. So that's to do with water. That is the improvement of the quality of water in schools, anything to do with water. That is one, and there's sanitation. Sanitation is the part where they ensure that the facilities are covered, that is, there are always the proper toilets are there. If there are flush toilets, the toilets are flushing well, and there's always water that will supply the toilets to keep them working all the time, and there are no blockages.
This school, last year was their first year for them to introduce this WASH. And it's such a big change. It gets a big change to the school, especially with hand washing. And the most importantly was the use of a toilet. The use of the toilets for this school was an issue. So we brought in toilet usage to come in line with WASH, so that we can try to instill in children's mind the proper usage of the toilet.
We are very fortunate that WASH came in, because most of the time in my past years in teaching, even as teachers, we don't bother about children's hygiene, like washing their hands. Just after 12 o'clock, we used to tell them, go and have your lunch, without telling them to wash their hands. But we are fortunate that when the WASH team came in, all those little things we used to neglect. But now, when we are aware of it and we inform the children, but children are enjoying doing it, and they love doing it.
The implementation of the program provided the opportunity for teachers who were going to be WASH coordinators to be trained on how to implement the program in their schools.
When I attended the workshop, I personally came to know that that WASH program is very important in the school. Some of the changes that I brought in after attending the workshop, that we have increased the number of washing points. There are more washing points and more taps and hand basins being erected in the school. And it has resulted that we have reduced the sickness level in our school.
On routine visits to schools, the Ministry of Health was concerned with the high number of eye diseases such as conjunctivitis and trachoma. With the introduction of WASH, there was a dramatic reduction in these diseases.
And with all these NCDs and the different types of diseases that are coming in, I think it is a very good idea to implement this WASH program in school. And we have seen that it is very effectively run.
A lot of changes have happened. Students are adopting a cleaner lifestyle. They're having a more hygiene, better hygiene. One example I'd like to give you is when we had the initial visit by a team to check the students' eye, then they found a lot of trachoma cases in the students, and it was like alarming. When the team came, we thought that it wouldn't be so serious, but when we saw that the result, it was too alarming. But after we implemented all the strategies that were told to us, like eye wash and face wash and hand wash, when they came for the next visit, the total number decreased as alarmingly as it had gone up.
Palm to palm, between fingers, back of hands.
The WASH program has generated a positive response from teachers, but especially from the children themselves, towards hygiene. One area in particular is menstrual hygiene.
One good thing that happened during the WASH program, that they repaired the girls' toilet down, and they put showers, installed it, and it's for the girls who are going through their periods. They can shower, have their shower and change their clothes, and pads are also provided in the office for them to use if they don't have it.
In the holidays, year 2 mother was sharing to me. She went like this: "Hey, head teacher, it's very good you people practicing those habits in the school. My little daughter, after coming back from the toilet, she'll go like this: Mother, soap, for me to wash my hands. We have to wash our hands with soap and water after visiting the toilet."
It all begins with the smaller children, and they are the ones who can change the entire community. And I believe in that, and I'm sure my students are going to do wonders in that area, because we have also sent some questionnaires home to the parents in terms of WASH, and we have found that a lot of valuable information had come. The children are still practicing this WASH program at home, and so are the parents. So thanks to all the organizations who have been supporting us, and I must thank everyone for that.
An additional component of the WASH program is the hydrogeological surveys in 6 communities in the cane belt areas. These communities are usually affected by severe drought conditions, so the project is looking at assessing potential groundwater sources that can be developed in the future as water supply systems to provide the communities with some resilience for these types of severe weather conditions in the future.
We have been able to identify good structures, geological structures or rock formations that would suggest good yielding formations that might store a water supply, something that hasn't been done before, and something that has really encouraged the farmers, knowing that there is groundwater sources nearby, and that would generate an attractive commodity or an asset for cane farmers themselves. We've heard a lot that farmers are coming away from the farms because of challenging conditions. We are really thankful that the project was designed to look at this very important basic need, which is access to drinking water. That will somehow, we hope that it will encourage the farmers to stay on and continue with their farming livelihood now that reliable water supplies have been established.
Bore drilling and pump tests in Gerilevu, a farming community in Ba, have revealed positive results with a good supply of water for the area.
The response of the community with regards to the hydrogeological assessment was very positive. They were very cooperative, and they're very grateful for the assistance that has been provided by government and SPC.
Soon after Tropical Cyclone Winston, around May and June of 2016, surveys were done in the sugarcane belt areas together with the Fiji Sugar Corporation, or FSC, to identify households whose homes were damaged and who did not have electricity.
If you consider the livelihood of cane farmers, they're not incredibly well off, as you can imagine. So, we have to allow them time to complete the refurbishment or rebuilding of the houses that have been damaged. So from February we started installation of our target of 500 solar systems in that area, and as of today we're up to 416. So it's been slow, but progress has been steady.
Joanna Siliku and her husband Ngelenika Kula were among the beneficiaries. Living in a remote area, they could not express their gratitude enough at the installation of their solar system.
Tau sianga na karsini kito santa u mutim buto ya mana lah mana sola kitragani kito marau tawali na bitamani
mana ngona banget tingin na dina tina karsini tin tamutangi may tambakin na sola dona kan ito marau tau sarangan samborara mani cucungo laman dibalik tau tumba nambongi bawa binagi nani ketugunya na bebugili ungo itu bawa sola telah.
In Rakiraki, nestled beautifully into the hills in a place nicknamed Everest, is the house of Vijay Pratap. Vijay and his family were overjoyed that they could now have permanent electricity completely free.
It's just like we are in heaven. I drink all night, gorog, for that happiness.
जैसे कि पहले हम लोग केरोसिन लाइट यूज़ करो, बेंजीन लाइट यूज़ करत रहा, तब अब है पहले केरोसिन चाहिए, बेंजीन मांगो रहो, अब है तो बटन दबाओ, स्विच ऑन.
We are used in the kerosene lantern everything, but my family, my kids are very happy, and they are thankful to this European Union and also the solar community.
इस गांव के तरफ से मैं बार बार धन्यवाद दे रही हूँ यूरोपियन यूनियन को और SPC सभी को मैं बार बार धन्यवाद दे रही हूँ.
One of the original components of the MPP program that was linked to the rural electrification component was to look at the type of livelihood or income generating activities that farmers were engaged in.
We engaged with Oxfam eventually, and there were some assessments done on the training, reassessments done on the training needs. And Oxfam, our partner, is working with Friend Fiji, and they are currently delivering training on beekeeping, organic and cash crop farming, food processing, and there's also youth employability skills. So a lot of youth in the cane farming areas who don't have access to employment, they're getting trained on the use of Microsoft and various other essential office type skills.
Kalau ngateni boleh dana kan office assistant ne boleh ya talenga tara buke ya ni naroni apply dana kono takak tunde kina meroni ready rotona tating ko tikir na lubem.
The Micro Projects program has made a huge impact to the lives of families in Fiji's sugarcane belt areas. The assistance and support provided has had far-reaching effects right across the different levels of the communities, from young children to adults. Children are learning proper hygiene, young men and women are learning new skills through the income generation training, and the electrification from solar power have had a dramatic effect and changed the lives of many families and made an enormous and positive difference to their lives.